it begs this question though. I'll start with you, Tyron. I rewatched the fight, and I think the question I think a number of people come away with was, fourth round, you almost knocked this man in the front row. Why didn't you finish him?
You know, one thing that you got to recognize in this sport is, when people are down and wounded, they make the comment that when somebody backs against the wall, when somebody's like a wounded dog, you got to be patient. You got to be patient on trying to finish that deal off because Jake has shown in his fights, you watch the Nate Robinson fight, you watch even when he knocked out Ben Askren, he wasn't really looking at them at the time. They walked forward, he looked like he was going to load it on Ben's body, and then he came over the top. Nate ran in and rushed into a right hand. So, you got to respect power. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like he don't have power. He does have power, and I have power. That's why you guys want to watch this fight again. So when I was looking at that, I actually punched him he was under the first rope, land on the second rope, hooked on the third rope, and sitting on the fourth rope. And we went into the boxing ring earlier that day, and we noticed how tall the top rope was. It was really at the back of my head. And at that point, we started measuring the second and the third rope. And those ropes are kind of really loose. So they went to tighten the rope up. And to be honest, when I punched him, he actually sprung back into the ring based upon the second and third rope. So when I was going to punch him for the second time, I don't go out there and cry over spilled milk. Like Jake said, he had an injury. Most fighters fight with injuries. You train your ass off. Most of the injuries come into training. And when you sign a contract and you walk in there, you don't cry fit. You don't go in there and complain about it. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. You don't make excuses afterwards. But when he came back in, I was trying to punch him again. I actually wrapped around his back. And I felt like my elbow was a little bit of hyperextended. So I said, Tyron, walk him down. Get in his face. You're in better shape. He's backing up. And I was punching and trying to make him punch back so I can counter punch him, but I really didn't feel like it was time for me to just go in there with avalanches of punches. He was hurt, but he wasn't to the point where he was dangling around and his legs were shaking. So hindsight is 20/20. I could have went in there and threw a barrage of punches, and he could have came with that right hand that we saw. He could have came with the left hook. Maybe I could have did more. Maybe I could have been a little bit more active, but we're in there. You know what I mean? We're in there. We see what we see, and I gotta go off my experience on what I saw. My last UFC fight, I hit the guy. He had Bambi legs, and I said it's over with. And I went in there for the kill. And when I did that, he clipped me with a shot. And I wasn't thinking about let's be safe, but you got to be a professional out here. This is a young kid. He hasn't really went a long fight ever. This is the first time he ever went more than 2 or 3 rounds, right? His chin has not been hit that often. He's going to be able to take a punch. So those are the things that an experienced fighter think about. So I know people wanted to see, it was more so people wanted to see me knock him out for them. And I think that's why everybody, you shoulda, woulda, coulda. I want to see you guys get in there and do it.